Okay, everyone, we are now live with my good friend Phil Zayas. Phil, please introduce yourself.
My name is Phil Zayas. I'm the head men's soccer coach at Johnson Wales University in North Miami, Florida.
And you are in AIA school, right?
Yes.
And Phil, I know you're in Miami. I have been to your school. How is the virus affecting your school? Did you go online? You're not having training right now. How is that working right now for you?
Okay. So basically, I think, and I think most universities are in the same situation. But yeah, we've moved to everything online. Most of our international students have either gone back home or they're living in Miami off campus. But they're getting a lot of help with the professors by doing work online. And as a team, we're still training individually. We actually have our group chat and WhatsApp, but we also have a video app that we use. It's
Nice,
called 8x8 Video Meetings. The app has
nice.
been fantastic for us. So it's allowed us to meet with at least 30 or 40 guys, even new recruits. And we're posting training sessions. We're having team meetings. This week, we're actually going to do some video analysis. So it's been very productive, considering the circumstances. And I'll tell you, if that app, that 8x8 app is awesome. If you guys have an opportunity to use it over there, it's really been great for us.
And what do you do? Do you put the fitness coach doing a session, like a fitness session for them, or they just record it and then just put it online?
Yeah, so we've done two things. We've done one is we've put the fitness coach is there, and yeah, he's literally actively going through a session, and the guys just copy his movements. Same with the technical work. So, for example, I'll do technical work, and the guys, they have their phones or laptops or whatever, they're set it up, and they're watching what we're doing, and then they're mimicking the movement. So, from an individual perspective, it's actually been very helpful. I wish we're probably going to do more of this when this is all over, because it's been great for us. So that 8x8 app has really helped us. Also, my YouTube channel, we started to upload videos so they could do homework as well. So, for example, this last week we did something on juggling, where I did a small session, basically gave them about 30 minutes of homework. All they got to do is watch the video clip from my YouTube channel, which is Phil Zayas,
Mhm.
is the YouTube channel. So basically, just my name. So anyone can go on and check it out. But and then next week I'll upload another instructional video for them to do technical work on their own. So if they're
So not only
following it,
your
and
players can follow, but other players, other college
yeah,
students can follow as well.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, I sent the video, I put it on Facebook, and some of my other friends who coach college teams saw the video, and they're like,
Sure.
"Hey, even though we play against you, I'm going to use it." I said, "Hey, feel free." So it's
Yeah.
no problem with me.
It's about adapting to the situation, right? We gotta go online. We understand the circumstances. We wish everything was better, back to normal, but we have to adapt. And what do you expect for the season? Like, has anything been said around your school, around Miami area?
Well, I think it's way too early. Right now, it's just speculation all over the world, really. I mean, no one knows when we're going to be fully back in full swing, but I'm optimistic and hopeful that this thing passes in a month and a half, 2 months. And I'm hoping that for 2020, our season will be to normal. So that's what
Sounds
I'm
good.
hoping for.
Let's talk about college soccer a little bit. We have about 15 minutes and we are up. We have 5 minutes now, about 5 minutes. And I would like to get your opinion as an American coach who has a lot of international players on your team. Have they always complained to you that the season is too short?
I mean, everyone. I think coaches in general would love the season to be longer. From what I understand, there's a big push
Also
from
in
from
AIA,
a
right?
from NAI, NCAA. There's a big push to to increase the season. Um, and so we'll see. I think at some point that's going to happen. I do, but it's going to take some time.
Are you
And
for
that's
or are you against it?
No, I'm definitely for it. I mean, of course, I love the game. I want to be on the field, So if we could, and I think also from an injury prevention standpoint, it would be very beneficial. We've got guys playing intense games, 2 in 1 week, and you play like maybe Wednesday and a Saturday, and it's just the wear and tear on the body's a lot. So I think it'd be overall better for the athletes and really better for them academically, which is I think is what we're as college coaches we're trying to get everyone to see the light on, is that it will really improve the student athlete experience, and to me that's what it's all about.
And you also have a summer league team. How is that being affected right now? I know you're supposed to be starting your season pretty soon.
Yeah, right now we have a U19 team with within my club, and yeah, basically that's all on shutdown. We're not doing anything. No one's doing anything. So similar stuff. We've sent them this stuff online. They're watching it. They're training on their own, and that's all we can do.
So as far as this summer league, like UPSL, all the leagues that just been canceled or postponed by
Shut,
right now.
postponed. Everything's postponed.
And as far as still college soccer, how many internationals do you have on your team
It's a good
in
question. I
general?
would
In
say,
general.
yeah, probably about 75% of the team is internationals on my team.
And do you think your school could do something else to help? I know your school does a lot of scholarship already, but do you think they could be thinking about doing a little bit more because of the economy right now, especially South America? I know you have a lot of South Americans on your team, and Italy right now. The situation. I know you have some Italians before. I don't know if you have now in your roster, but I'm saying that because the economy in Brazil is just going through a really bad momentum. It's
Sure,
just the worst timing because the dollar is fluctuating a lot and it's getting
of
really
course.
far from the Brazilian money. So, do you think your school would be willing to do something like that, like an extra scholarship for the South American students or something like that?
Well, I think not only my school, but I think many schools in general, I think the first thing they're trying to figure out is we want to save people's jobs. I think everyone's thinking about that because a lot of people are losing jobs at this time globally. So I think, and I'm pretty confident Johnson Wales is a very family oriented environment. So once you're in, they want to take care of the people that are there. So I think initially they're thinking probably about the students that are there and how this is impacting them and how we can retain those students. So, but I'm sure and again, this is all very, very early, but I'm sure that they're trying to come up with ways to be creative. We recently just increased the some scholarships for international students, and all that's dependent on how good they are as students as well. So that's a big piece of it. But they've already increased it recently, and I actually, ironically, our recruiting has been really good during this thing. We've had a little bit more time to focus online and really, look at every email that comes in, which sometimes becomes a challenge for most college coaches
Yeah,
because
of course.
all of us get swarmed with so many emails, and it's a lot to keep up with the amount of emails we get. I mean, I've had sometimes where I've had 100 in one day from internationals, and we have to sift through them and figure out which ones are the ones that we really think we can get a kid from. So I think the schools, to answer your question, I think the schools are all of the schools are going to have to try to be creative and come up with some ways of attracting international students. But ironically, as the situation is, we're in the middle of it. We've still got a lot of interest from international students. So,
Sure.
and I think everyone's pretty optimistic that this thing is going to it's going to blow over at some point,
At
in the
some
next
point,
month or
right?
two. Yeah.
Exactly. And do you have any idea how many international students are on your school in general?
No, that number I don't have off the top of my head,
But it's a good
but
part, right?
it's a good amount. Yeah, it's a good amount. I mean, being where we're at in Miami, I mean, you can see behind me, I'm sitting on a chair under a tree. It's probably like 80 something degrees. It's beautiful outside. So I mean, this could be a lot worse for me. I could be in another part of the country where it's snowing or something, and not being able to enjoy at least being outside. So because of that, because of the weather, and because of how close we are to South America and the Caribbean, and the fact that we're kind of a gateway, to South America and the Caribbean. It just attracts a lot of people here. So we have a lot of international students.
And what are your expectations for the coming up season? What conference do you play on?
So we play in the Sun Conference. Last year was arguably our best season. We made it to the conference final, which was the first time in our program's history that we made it to the final. And we had a lot of injuries too, which was interesting. That we still made it, and it was supposed to be a rebuilding year for us. But we returned the majority of our players. So if we can fill in the right pieces and bring in the right players to help us, we should be competing for a championship.
When you talk about injuries, I have been doing this podcast with a lot of other coaches in different parts of the country and different levels, and all of them say about the same thing. The season is too short, and the biggest issue is because of the injuries. You create a lot of issues because when you come down to the regional final, state final, whatever league you're on, the players are burned out because you had to squeeze in 15, 20, 30 games sometimes in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own way of trying to manage that. At Johnson Wales, we have our way, or my way, or however you want to say it, and of managing not only the injuries but managing the season and the workload of the training sessions. I think all that stuff is important. If a coach is big on fitness and really runs them into the ground and continues to do that throughout the season, then
Yeah.
maybe but everyone's got a different philosophy. I mean, there's guys that have done that or coaches that have done that, and that has worked for them. So I have my way of doing it, and this year was a funny year for us because the past few years we actually didn't have a lot of injuries, and we changed the way we were doing things in regards to our warm up and in regards to just the amount of time players were playing, minutes they were getting. And, we have about 25 to 26 players on our roster, and we have some games where 20 to 22 players are getting in. And, that helps us to not only keep everyone happy, but also
Rotation, right?
to rotation, and that's where the college rules are different, and a lot of players ask me that. They'll say, hey, we noticed there's no rules in regards to the substitution rule, or players can come in and out. And I think when you're playing 2 games a week, as a coach, for me, I take advantage of those rules, and I do everything I can to make sure my team stays healthy. So
Yeah, but it always depends on what kind of players you have on your roster. If you have depth, you can do that. If you don't, then you have to work with whatever you have. But one thing that I'd like to ask you is just the clock down, the counting down from the watch. Do you think that should change, or do you think that's something that's just that it is normal in US and it's going to be like that?
well, it depends. I mean, I think well, look, all the time is it's continuous, right? It's always running. We don't have a system where they add extra time for college soccer. They don't do that. They don't add time. They just, when the clock runs out, it runs out.
So if you get a
I,
team
I
with a bunch of Brazilians and Argentinians, if they're winning 1-0, they're going to go down. They may waste some
well,
time.
the ref is allowed to stop it for injuries. There's a few moments where they're allowed to stop it. So in the end, when you really think about it, I mean, for me, I think in the end, it ends up being the same thing probably. I mean, if you add time
Yeah.
or you just
But
stop
would
the,
you
the
change
clock.
if it was up to you? Would you change it to a regular
See,
professional game?
I wouldn't for now, and the reason why is because I've seen situations where the person that's running the clock, that's on the sideline, at the college level, maybe depending on the school, may not
Yeah,
do a
yeah.
great job, and then I've got and then that can impact the game. So I'd rather just know
Keep the
it's
way it
it's
is.
consistent. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't like it, but I'm fine with it. I can deal with it.
And how is everyone in your family? Everybody's doing well during this time? Are you staying home?
Doing my best to stay home. I mean, we go out for food I go out for food. The family stays in the house. I got 2 little ones, I have a 14-year-old boy and a 5-year-old boy. The 5-year-old boy is the hardest one to keep entertained. It's like a 5 hour physical education course with him. So he's keeping me
Fair,
busy and then having to work at the same time. So that is the challenge right now. I think it's a challenge for everyone, but we're healthy, so it's a blessing.
fair enough. I have a 2-year-old, and it's just been, I don't know where he's at right now, but maybe he's going to come up really soon. Our 15 minutes are up, Phil. I'd like to thank you. I know we could be talking here for over an hour about
Sure.
soccer, college soccer in general, but I want to wish you good luck to the season. I think we're going to talk again later on after this whole situation is gone. Thank you so much for the call. I'm going to send you the link in a little bit, okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, see you.